We don't have the final numbers in yet, but we did a lot of work to actually help drive the attendance up, but more to actually distribute the attendance. One of the problems we have is we have a really high attendance on day one. We have an even impossible attendance on day two, that there are sometimes too many people in the hall on the Wednesday. And then it starts to go down slightly on day 3 and 4. So we said the best benefit we could get is if we could actually spread the attendance, get less people on day 2 and more people on day 4. Well, day 1 and 2, we got more people than last year again. So we're running about 7% ahead of where we were last year at the present. Today is going almost similar. We don't have the final numbers yet. But at this stage, it looks like we're on target to exceed the attendance from last year. So we're very happy. We've had a growth in exhibitors, so 1,304 exhibiting companies at ISE 2019, over 57,000 net square meters of space. So it's a phenomenal growth. And when we think back to when we started in 2004, where we only had 120 exhibitors in 2,800 square meters of space, that is a phenomenal development. The companies we've had in there, you see Google returning, Microsoft there, so a lot more IT companies getting involved in the show, which is great for us in actually attracting the IT integrators or those people in the IT sectors in corporate companies who are responsible for the decisions taken for AV installations. So we're getting a lot of traction in those sort of companies. What has been a highlight this year, though, is 3D mapping. You'll see it all over the show floor. At a lot of booths, see some fantastic displays and designs where 3D mapping is being shown, or very creative design on the exhibition booths. And then we've also got that outside. Actually, you see just outside here, we have the sculpture Sviatovid from Bart Kreiser. And that was unveiled on Tuesday, and Bart actually, in fact, did our opening exhibition, opening keynote. And so very, very good. And then as addition to that, we also have projection mapping on the new NH Hotel next door to the RAI, which is in construction at the moment. So a phenomenal projection mapping presentation there. And again, this evening at 5 o'clock, there is a extra special presentation of the projection mapping. So these are some highlights. Other highlights, large LED screens. If you look at Samsung, if you look at Sony, you see some unbelievable large screens. I wish I had a living room large enough to actually accommodate them, but this is cinema size and quality, and it's great to see those things close up. It's public that in 2021 we're moving to Barcelona. So we have one more year here in Amsterdam. ISE 2020 will be the 11th to the 14th of February in Amsterdam, and we will make it the biggest and best ever show we've ever had before we leave here. But unfortunately, I mean, Amsterdam has been a great city for us, has really helped in making ISE what it is. But we've outgrown this city, unfortunately, and we need to move not only for the accommodation of our exhibitors, but also our attendees. As you say, as you've seen already, it's crowded on the show floor. So we need to do this. We're already starting preparation. We've had people here from the city. We've had the convention bureau. We've had the show venue owners. We've had people from police. We've had all sorts of infrastructure people who are there to actually see how ISE works, so they can come back and help us make it work properly in Barcelona when we move there in in 2 years' time. Absolutely. My dream always, and my view is the attendee experience should start at the entrance, not just when they get on the show floor. And that's why you see everywhere within ISE that when you get here, the experience starts straight away. I mentioned already the 3D mapping with the Sviatovid and the NH Hotel. You'll see digital signage screens being set up all around outside the venue, because if we're going to use digital signage, if we're going to use something to actually guide people, then we should use the technology that we are pushing. So we work with our exhibitors, we work with partners to actually make these things happen, because we know they're the experts. We go to them and say, look, this is what we want to do, what we want to achieve. How can you help us? And we have 1,300 companies who want to help us make this a very successful event and put things like that in place. This is paramount for us, because we are responsible for the people who we bring here, and we work very closely. We have security meetings especially for this. There are actually cameras all around. We have profilers, people who you don't see here. They're in the crowd, at the entrances, watching people to try and identify any issues. We have dogs on a regular occasion going and checking. So we try to make it not too obvious, because we don't want to make people nervous. But unfortunately, in these times, we have to exercise caution. And we will always do that. The safety of our exhibitors and attendees is paramount. So we spend a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of money in actually trying to attract new people to the exhibition. And in new, we mean new to the exhibition, but very significant in terms of being in the process and channel for buying equipment, or being the decision makers in that process. The result is that we have something like 30% of our attendees are new to the show, the first time they're actually coming here, and that's very encouraging. So the growth is with new people, and what we see is that AV is touching all aspects of life, work, and experience that we need to bring these people in and show them what they can do with it. So we have our center stage, our main stage in the Hall 8. What has happened is, over the years, we had many theaters spread out on the show floor around the halls. We had, I think, in total about 5. And we realized we were putting too much conflict in the choice for people to actually go to these classes. So we decided to actually make it larger and put it in one place. And we put it into Hall 8. And this is where we're running a lot of free sessions. These are supported by AVIXA and CEDIA, our 2 owning associations. We work with AV Magazine as well to actually help create the content and curate content for that space. And we ourselves, in our marketing content team, are helping actually create content and events that are going on that space. AV is touching all aspects of life. It really gets involved in our home life and in the residential situation, in our work life, and how we actually interact and work with people, or how we entertain ourselves and gain experience. The result is that almost everybody who's in that decision-making chain, whether you're an architect, whether you are a construction company that's developing a hotel or an office or a living complex, you need to actually come to ISE to see how you can be creative, how you can see what technology you can use in the design and construction and creation of working, living, and experience spaces. So to everybody at Alpha Integratie, please, we welcome you to come to ISE in the future. Keep reading. Keep finding out more about what we do, what the industry is doing, and take the opportunity to come next year to ISE in Amsterdam, 11th to 14th of February, and gain and increase your knowledge.